Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here and welcome to some more Magic Arena gameplay. Today we're going to be playing a deck that's a lot of fun and actually quite powerful when everything comes together, that deck being Blue-Red God Pharaoh's Gift. Unfortunately, we are missing a few cards from Kaladesh that make the deck a lot more consistent, namely Minister of Inquiries to help us fill our graveyard, and Trophy Mage to help us search for the all-important Gate to the Afterlife. Also, we don't have access to Spire Bluff Canal, so we're replacing that with a Highland Lake, but even without those cards, the deck can do some pretty ridiculous stuff. Also, it can sometimes just not do anything and die, but we'll hopefully not encounter that today. Anyway, the namesake of the deck, of course, is God Pharaoh's Gift, a 7-cost artifact. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. It gains haste until end of turn. The combo is God Pharaoh's Gift plus Combat Celebrant, which is a 3-cost 4/1. If Combat Celebrant hasn't been exerted this turn, you may exert it as it attacks. When you do, untap all other creatures you control, and after this phase, there is an additional combat phase. So getting the additional combat phase means we trigger God Pharaoh's Gift again. And if we have multiple Combat Celebrants, then we can just do it over and over and over and just straight out kill our opponents. So, God Pharaoh's Gift is a 7-cost artifact. How do we get it into play in a reasonable amount of time? Well, we generally don't cast it, though that is always an option if necessary. Generally, we are leaning on Gate to the Afterlife to get God Pharaoh's Gift into play. Gate is a 3-cost artifact. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you gain 1 life. Then you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. That is one of our engines to help fill our graveyard. The important part, though, is we can pay 2 and sacrifice it to search our graveyard, hand, and or library, so basically anywhere it is except the exile zone, for a card named God Pharaoh's Gift and put it onto the battlefield. Now we can only activate this ability if there are 6 or more creature cards in our graveyard, so getting creatures into the graveyard is very, very important. Is going to be a theme that we see throughout the deck. So now we know what the general linchpin of the deck is. Let's look at the rest of the cards. We're running 4 Fanatical Firebrands, just an efficient 1-drop. We can actually sometimes just out-aggro our opponent and just kill them, not even have to worry about God Pharaoh's Gift, though God Pharaoh's Gift is the primary plan. What's also nice about Fanatical Firebrand is it is a sack outlet. It can sack itself, so if we have our Gate to the Afterlife out, then we can sack Fanatical Firebrand to trigger the life gain and loot effect and help us fill our graveyard. Also in that vein is a playset of Skirk Prospector. Allows us to sacrifice any of the goblins in the deck, and there are quite a few. Also triggering the loot ability on Gate to the Afterlife, as well as adding mana, which is very important. We can often use Skirk Prospectors to go off a turn earlier than we otherwise would have been able to. In the 2-drop slot, we're playing a pair of Warkite Marauders, which is a good card to help us negate some of our opponent's more pesky creatures if they're on board. Also, the evasion of flying is nice. For 2 mana, we have a 2/1 flyer. When it attacks, target creature defending player controls loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 0/1 until end of turn. Very useful to kill Hazoret with. Attack with Warkite Marauder, make it a 0/1 with no abilities. Shoot it with Fanatical Firebrand. Not exactly a simple line, but to get rid of Hazoret, we will do Convolutions, won't we? Also in the 2-drop slot is a playset of Wily Goblin. For 2 red, we have a 1/1. When Wily Goblin enters the battlefield, create a colorless treasure token artifact. With tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. This is along the lines of Skirk Prospector. It ramps us a bit with the treasure artifact, and also synergizes with Prospector that we can sack it and make mana, helping to fill our graveyard. Then our first spell is a playset of Strategic Planning. For 1 and a blue, we have a sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Generally, we're going to be binning creatures and digging for Gate to the Afterlife, though what we take will, of course, be very situationally dependent. Then moving on to the 3-drop slot, we have a playset of Champion of Wits, just one of the best creatures in the deck for setting everything up. For 2 and a blue, we have a 2/1. When Champion of Wits enters the battlefield, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. Also, Eternalize of 5 and 2 blue. Again, helping us dig for the specific pieces that we're wanting while filling up our graveyard with creatures. And the Eternalize also is occasionally relevant. Eternalize, for those unfamiliar, it has the tooltip right there to the right. We pay the Eternalize cost, exile the card from the graveyard, and create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. So on Eternalization, or Reanimation from God Pharaoh's Gift, it's a 4/4, so we get to draw 4 cards and discard 2. Then we've already gone over Combat Celebrant and Gate to the Afterlife. Next up is a pair of Vizier of Many Faces. You may have Vizier of Many Faces enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except if Vizier of Many Faces was embalmed, the token has no mana cost, it's white, and it's a zombie in addition to its other types. Vizier is basically Combat Celebrants number 5 and 6, because we do need a bit of a critical mass of those to actually be able to kill the opponent the turn that we get God Pharaoh's Gift into play, which is what we're aiming to do, though we will also use Vizier of Many Faces to copy other things should the situation dictate that that's the correct line of play. Then our last creature is a 3/of Siege Gang Commander. For 3 and 2 red, we have a 2/2 Goblin. When Siege Gang Commander enters the battlefield, create 3/1/1 red Goblin creature tokens. For 1 and a red, we can sacrifice a Goblin. Siege Gang Commander deals 2 damage to any target. Very versatile and powerful card that lets us flood the board, and often just out-aggro the opponent. Also very good on turns where you can't actually kill the opponent with God Pharaoh's Gift. Say you get to Combat Celebrate once, and then get your second combat step, go ahead and get Siege Gang Commander, and put just a ton of goblins onto the board. And then our mana base is 4 Ipnu Rivulets, helps us to fill our graveyard, 11 Mountains, 4 Highland Lake, and 4 Sulphur Falls. You may notice that the deck is not running any basic islands. That is because 12 blue mana sources is more or less the correct amount for what we're doing here, and we need double red on turn 2 for Wily Goblin. But that is enough talking about the deck list. Let's play some games. Alright, we are on the play. This is a pretty good hand, except for the fact that we've got a God Pharaoh's Gift in our opening hand, which you pretty much never want to draw a God Pharaoh's Gift, but there's not much that we can do about that. I think this is a definite keep. The 2 strategic planning are especially good here. So we will go turn 1 Skirk Prospector. Then just depending on what the opponent does here, we will probably just start firing off strategic plannings and digging for gates to the afterlife and or mana to play our Champion of Wits. So before we do anything, let's attack. Alright, get in there. Go ahead and strategic planning. Alright, we will take the Ipnu Rivulet, as that will come into play untapped next turn and allow us to cast our Champion of Wits. There is an argument also for just casting Wily Goblin and getting the treasure, but I really do want to hit my land drops. Alright, blue, white. So we have to be careful here. They can seal away and exile our stuff. Luckily, Skirk Prospector can sacrifice itself to stop that from happening and get itself into our graveyard. Let's hope they don't have an Essence Scatter up, or a Censor. Alright, looks like Champion is resolving. Yes, please. Alright, that is a little unfortunate. Well, we'll definitely be discarding Wily Goblin. I think we'll also discard one of these Highland Lakes. Going to hold on to the God Pharaoh's Gift just in case we can't manage to hit a gate to the afterlife and the game goes long enough to actually let us cast it. Alright, opponent cycling must have a handful of land. Alright, now got up mana for hard counters, Wizard's Retort cancel, similar stuff. Well, we will, of course, attack. Hopefully nothing gets sealed away. Alright, looks like we're getting in there. That's very good. Well, we will start off with a Warkite Marauder. Alrighty. Guessing the opponent does have a counterspell in hand. They thought a long time about that. We'll try for strategic planning. Take a damage from our Rivulet. Alright, they let that resolve too. Well, we want these combat celebrants in the graveyard for sure, so we'll take a Prospector. Having the correct number, or, you know, some number of celebrants in the graveyard is the key to winning on the turn you play God Pharaoh's Gift. Okay, there's the Silhouette after combat. Probably getting champion. Yep. They went for Skirk Prospector, we would have just sacked it so that we would have had it in our graveyard. So now they have Settle the Wreckage mana up. So we're going to go to combat. How many creatures do we have in the graveyard? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're 2 off of God Pharaoh's Gift, or Gate to the Afterlife triggering, but we don't actually have it yet. I think we're going to attack here with just the Marauder. If they want to seal away or settle, that's fine. I don't want my Skirk Prospector gone because we're counting on it to provide us the extra mana for God Pharaoh's Gift. Let's play a Highland Lake and play out our Prospector. And then maybe opponent will tap low enough next turn to let us resolve God Pharaoh's Gift. Probably not, but, you know, just gotta cross our fingers and hope. Cast out. Okay. Marauder? Yep, you got it. Does opponent actually not have any counterspells? Is that why we were able to resolve everything these few turns? Or maybe they just didn't consider what we were playing to be big enough threats. Alright, to Fairy. So, as long as they're not holding the gate, we should be able to resolve God Pharaoh's Gift.
We need to move quickly.
Go to our turn. Right. Fanatical Firebrand, that's fine. We do want to play that out. So, I definitely think we go for God Pharaoh's Gift here. We will sacrifice a Goblin. We still have 1 mana to pay for a Censor if they have that. No negate, please. And they scoop it up. Alrighty then. Well, hopefully we will have some opponent when we go off let us actually go off so I can show you guys exactly how that works, but we will definitely take the win. This hand is great. We've got Strategic Planning's Champion of Wits. Yeah, we will certainly be keeping this. The only thing that's missing is a Gate to the Afterlife, but hopefully we can find that with Strategic Planning. We're up against what looks like vampires, or maybe it's just a fast white deck, so we do need to survive until we can actually get God Pharaoh's Gift into play. Unfortunately, we drew another one, which, as I said in the first game, we never want to draw this card, but it's fine if we do. Okay, so it is vampires. They have a very fast clock on us, so the question is, do we play out Wily Goblin to block, or do we play Strategic Planning to dig? I actually think that we play out Wily Goblin. We've got to be defensive here. The goal is to stay alive. Alright, there's their first black source. And a Vanguard, sure. Will you allow me to trade with Sky Marcher? You will. Awesome. I will do just that. There's our Gate to the Afterlife, so not actually needing to dig for that then, so we're going to go Champion of Wits. Both for the dig and for the blocking ability. Against decks like this that actually have ways to deal with God Pharaoh's Gift, like Cast Out, and deal with Gate to the Afterlife too, we kind of want to hold off on playing the Gate until we can actually activate it. Also helps if you can get your opponent to tap low enough that they can't actually deal with it that turn. Alright, wondering if opponent has walked away from their computer. Yes, I will take the action. And second combat celebrant is excellent, so both of those go to the graveyard. We will end our turn. Don't know if opponent's back yet, though looks like they're pointing at their cards. Don't know what that was all about. Yep, you got it. Yes, no, maybe? Right, we will block Martyr of Dusk. Yep. Alright, they get a token. Resolve. And we really, really wanted a land there. We've got 4 in our graveyard. If we had a land, we could have Skirk Prospectored and got our 6 creatures into the graveyard with Gate to the Afterlife. A little unfortunate. So what I think we're going to do is strategically plan, and we want to use the Rivulet. We're looking for a land. There is a land. So we will take that. We will play it, and we will play out Wily Goblin. And now we have the mana to do Gate to the Afterlife next turn. Hopefully we will be in a position to make that work. We'll just pass. History, okay. Right, we will definitely block here. Alright, opponent is tapped out, so this should be game. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've already got enough. So we will play Prospector. And the reason we're doing this is we do want to dig a little bit. Try to put some more Celebrants in the yard if we can. And or Vizier. We'll play out our Gate. Going to sack this for red. Play out our Firebrand too. Then we will activate Prospector. Sack the Firebrand. Get ourselves some mana and a loot. Yes, please. Alright, to the graveyard with you. We will sack itself. Yes, please. Alright, we will also discard Godpharaoh's Gift. We want that land. Let's play it. And we have enough mana, so let's sacrifice you for blue. And we will strategic planning. And take a Highland Lake, I guess. That's both of our Godpharaoh's Gifts in the yard. We have the activation for Gate. We will search our graveyard because that's where they are. Trigger. Get Combat Celebrant. And we will exert it. Now, opponent here should probably double block and kill this thing. Otherwise, it's going to get to attack again when we bring our other Combat Celebrant back. But they don't. That's perfectly fine with us. Get our other Celebrant. Exert it. Untap the first Celebrant. Now, we can't re-exert it, but we can attack with it again. Right, another trigger. This time we will grab Champion of Wits to dig for more gas. Yes, please. And this time we're going to discard 2 mountains. I want this Marauder just in case they deal with this God Pharaoh's gift. Alright, opponent is blocking now. That's fine. Kill those. Yes, please. So not a one-turn kill on this particular activation, but hopefully we can get there. Please don't kill our God Pharaoh's gift opponent. We're having a lot of fun with it. You're in favor of fun, right? Baffling End, okay. Don't know if Celebrant's the one you want to go for there, because it doesn't actually get to do its thing again next turn. But sure. Looks like our gift is going to get to live. Alright, a Cartouche. So we'll take 2, they'll gain 2. Alright, before we do anything else, we want to fire off this Rivulet. Targeting ourselves. Hoping to hit more combat celebrants. We got a Siege Gang Commander. We got 3 Siege Gang Commanders. Jeez Louise. Alright, well, we'll play out a Highland Lake, play out our Fanatical Firebrand. Go to combat here. And we will most definitely be grabbing a Siege Gang Commander. And we will go to attacks. We'll not swing with the Firebrand. Alright, damages. And pass. Just kind of grinding the opponent out here. Okay, that knight gets big. Don't think that's too much of an issue for us. Sure. Yep, you'll gain some life. Not too bad for us since we have more Siege Gangs in our graveyard and they're going to come back to play. Alright, we will block, and we will block the life gain dude with this, and the other dude with this. Then before damage, we're going to sack the Firebrand targeting Vanguard. If they want to keep it alive, they're going to have to pay 4 life. This way they won't gain life from this because it doesn't get to deal damage. They will pay the life. Alright, we're just going to go to combat here. Grab another Siege Gang, if I can get the slider to work. And then we're not going to worry about attacking. We're just going to shoot our opponent. Alright, opponent sees the writing on the wall. Okay, this hand is fine. We have a lot of early game. We've got planning and champion to dig. Let's keep it. Opponent mulligans to 6. One thing about this deck too, the way it plays the early game a lot of times, opponent thinks you're on mono red aggro, and that can cause some misplays. Alright, Isolated Chapel, perhaps another vampire deck. Well, for now we're going to strategic planning. We want to hit our land drops if we can. Gate to the afterlife, huh? That is a conundrum. I think we have to take the gate. It's just too important to our strategy. That is sad. We can potentially still get there with the Skirk Prospector. Or 2 Skirk Prospectors, I suppose. Alright, so Esper from the opponent. Well, let's start out by attacking. Get in there. I think we will cast our Prospector here. And then end the turn. Field of Ruin, okay. All right, we've got a Wily Goblin. I would like to attack and then do the sacking for mana afterwards, but the thing is, they may deal with our Prospector. Actually, we will go to combat. We'll just attack with the Firebrand, though, because we want our Skirk Prospector to survive. Alright, good. Let's do that. We will sacrifice the Firebrand. Then we will attempt Champion of Wits. Alright, gets countered. Nothing we can really do about that. End the turn. Alright, opponent not having any trouble hitting their land drops. There's a Karn. Karn doesn't bother us too awfully much. Alright.
A curious choice.
Irrigated farmland or cancel. We will give you the farmland. There's a Firebrand. We could try to resolve Gate. They've got white, though, which means they probably have Cast Out. I think actually what we're going to do is cast the Warkite Marauder here. Just try to go aggro for a bit since we're stalled on lands. And I think we're just going to ignore Karn for now. Alright, getting the cancel.
What was lost is now returned.
So we know about the cancel. They don't have Settle the Wreckage mana. So let's attack. Just go in face. Then I suppose we will try to resolve another Prospector. Field of Ruin. I will float mana. Thank you for letting me do that. Get our mountain. They should have done this in our end of turn if they wanted to do that. They don't have mana to cancel. So even though they could have Cast Out, I am going to try to resolve this gate now. Alright, got it. We will end the turn. Hopefully they don't have Cast Out or Ixalan's Binding. We've got 3 creatures in the graveyard. There's Teferi. Teferi can be a problem, mostly because of its ability to put our God Pharaoh's Gift back into our library. Sure, you can have a Drowned Catacomb. So cancel is going to be live. Yep. Tuck our gate. There's an Ipnu Rivulet. So we're definitely going to kill Teferi here. We will start out with Wily Goblin. We will sack this for red. Play Firebrand as well. And just to make sure, because they could have something like an unsummon, we will attack with you and with you there. Let Firebrand go to the face. Alright, Teferi down. And we will end the turn. Revealing again.
I'll make use of that later.
Sure. More lands. Right, we are still aware of that cancel. Well, let's play this. They do have Settle the Wreckage mana up now. We could sacrifice a bunch of stuff in response to it, I suppose. Don't really want to do that. Let's attack with just the Marauder. Seal away, sure. You got it. Damages. Let's play Champion of Wits. Sack our board. Yes, please. This one. Yes, please. This one. Yes, please. Itself. There's your blue. Alright, opponent letting the timer run down. Alright. Champion of Wits, we do want to take that action. Draw 4, discard 2. We will discard a Warkite Marauder. Actually, I'll discard a Fanatical Firebrand too. I would like to Vizier this if it hangs around, but it's getting contempted. Never mind then. Yeah. Getting... Oh, search, okay. That makes sense. Alright, another champion. Let's start with a strategic planning. See if they want to cancel that. They do not. Second gate would be nice, but I think we're more in the market for lands now. Let's try to play this other Champion of Wits. Alright, Syncopate. So we still know about the cancel. Sadly, Syncopate removes our champion from the game. It is exiled now.
Nothing is ever true.
Getting the Syncopate that was exiled, yep. Alright, I think this game is rapidly slipping away from us.
Your defeat is inevitable.
Sulfur Falls, okay. Go for Prospector, I suppose. And we're going to hold on to this Vizier in case they're running Scarab God or something similar. Just no way we can resolve this gate. Not with us knowing about these two counter spells. Alright, they milled away a Settle the Wreckage. Flip their Azcanta. Yep.
The choices we make reveal who we are.
You can have the Field of Ruin. Looks like we know their win condition now. Approach of the second sun. They'll get that next turn. Yeah, our Prospector will do no harm. Just going to hit in turn. Combat Celebrant, eh? Well, might as well try. Getting syncopated, maybe? Yep. I cannot pay 5. If you had miscalculated, I could have paid 4, but you are smarter than that. So you have another cancel that we know about. Yeah, we're just going to pass. Yep, digging. Get a cast out that's just a game. Yeah, I think we're just going to scoop it up. Our time and the opponent's time are valuable. This game is over. Good game, opponent. Well played. Alright, again, just a fine hand here. It's a little slow. We don't have a comes into play untapped red source, but we're definitely going to keep it. We will lead off with Highland Lake, as that is always going to come into play tapped. We could potentially draw a mountain so that Sulphur Falls doesn't. Alright, Swamp. We didn't, so I think we're actually going to go for Warkite Marauder here. Just try to get aggressive. If our combo comes together, then that will be great. But in the meantime, let's do some damage if we can. Alright, all we're seeing from the opponent so far is black. There is a mono-black control deck, and it does tend to play treasure map, so maybe that's what we're up against. We got our mountain. That is cool. I think what we're going to do here is go Wily Goblin into another Marauder. This could induce them to do a Golden Demise, which is not a huge problem for us since we do want creatures in the graveyard. There's the Golden Demise. Okay, that's 3 in the yard. Combat Celebrant is fine. I was going to strategically plan, but I actually think we're going to go Prospector into Celebrant with that draw. It's kind of cause for another removal, whether it's another Golden Demise or just a singleton removal on Combat Celebrant. Hopefully not Vraska's Contempt, which is not going to be with them scrying. Right, Cabal Stronghold. That is for sure an indication that we're against mono black. Moment of Craving, that is perfectly fine. Right, so that's 4 creatures in the yard. Let's go with Planning. Looking for that. It's 5 creatures in the yard. We are going to attack. And black generally doesn't have a way to deal with Gate to the Afterlife. I'm still going to be safe and just not let them know we have it. Hopefully they'll tap low enough to not have Vraska's Contempt up here. And they are. Awesome. We don't quite have the cards in the yard to actually kill them this turn, but we should get a good ways towards that. Right, that helps some. Let's play out our Firebrand. Then we'll play our Gate. Then we'll start sacking stuff. Yes, please. That's fine. What we want is another Celebrant. Or a Vizier. Didn't really get it, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and activate. Library, we don't want to draw the other gift. And we will grab our Celebrant. And we're going to try to deal with Liliana. Since we can't kill them this turn. See, we don't have another Celebrant, no. So let's grab a Marauder. And attack Lily. No reanimation shenanigans from her now. Don't know that there was anything to reanimate. There wasn't. But they could put something in there somehow. Maybe. Just playing it safe. That's what I'm getting at here. Okay, well that's cheeky, isn't it? Bye-bye Celebrant. Hello to our own Warkite Marauder.
You done yet?
Sure. Well, first of all, we're going to Rivulet ourselves. See what we get. Looks like a bunch of lands. Well, at least they're off the top now, huh? Let's go to combat. We will grab a Wily Goblin, I suppose. Then we will attack Lily with this. Attack their face with this. Make this an 0-1 that can't block the Warkite Marauder. Alright, Lily's gone now. They chose not to block. We'll play out our Sulphur Falls. Just in case we need the mana for something. I don't know. Our other God Pharaoh's Gift's in the graveyard, so not going to be drawing that. Suppose I could have held it to potentially make them use discard against us. Alright, Demon Lord Belzenlock, huh? Poisoner? Sure. Scrying. So no need to worry about responses from them. What we want is to draw maybe another gate, so that we can get our other God Pharaoh's Gift into play. Yep. Well, that is not what that is. Let's go to combat. We will grab a Firebrand. And we will go to attacks. All attack. Trigger here. Alright, we'll hold this mountain this time. Perhaps we'll induce them to use some sort of discard effect. Alright, well that's a lot of mana. Use them 1 to scry, sure. Alright, even more mana. We got a Torment of Hellfire coming at us. They could do it for 7. That would be unfortunate. Okay, that is not a Torment of Hellfire. That's good for us. Baleful Amit. Sure. Alright, going to put the counter on the Golem to keep Baleful Amit big. Rivulet, you say? Don't mind if I do. Alright, I don't really know what got put in there. I see the Siege Gang Commander. Let's just go to combat and see what we have available. Looks like we got a Celebrant. That is what we want. Let's go to attacks. Attack all. You come back here. You need to exert. And we will shrink you down. No, they can poison her here. They have treasures to sack. I don't think that's really going to matter, though, now that we got our Celebrant activation. Yep. Yep. Alright, go to blocks. Alright, lots of blocking going on. Sure. Let's draw some cards. Go to damage. Second combat phase. We will grab, if I can get my mouse, the commander. And that's the game. Alright, we get to go first. This is an awesome hand except for the lack of blue mana, but I think we still keep it. Got Gate in the opening hand, Prospectors. Perhaps to help us dig for our blue mana, or maybe we'll just hit it naturally. We do have 12 blue sources. Only really need 1, unless we need to hard cast or embalm a Vizier, which we don't do very often. Magma Spray? No. We're gonna sack it. We want it in our graveyard. There's our blue source. Awesome. Thank you, deck. End the turn. Firebrand, sure. That is a dead prospector. Huh. I actually think we're going to play Gate to the Afterlife here since we have two. If we can induce them to use an abrade on that, that would be awesome. Or a shaker, sure. Yep. That prospector is unable to block. Doesn't really matter, I guess, that it already was. Let's see. 2, 3. If we have both of these out, we could draw 2, discard 2. We'd have to get really lucky to hit our 6 creatures, so let's go for strategic planning. And we'll take another strategic planning, I suppose, for next turn. Let's combat it up. Are we going to get hit with an abrade? Nope, a chain whirler. Alrighty. Bye-bye to Prospector. We will take that action. I guess we'll discard the Wily Goblin, since we don't really have a sack outlet for it now. Vizier, that is nice. Let's go for planning. That's a lot of critters. Let's take the Prospector. And now we have enough to trigger. Let's go to full control mode in case the game does something stupid and goes to our combat step after we play this, as I've had it done several times. Resolve. Sack. Yes, please. Discard the Vizier. And this should be game, or very close to it. We want God Pharaoh's Gift. I guess we'll play our Highland Lake. Then we will grab Combat Celebrant. Now they could put a kink in our plans if they have a Magma Spray, so that we can't Vizier copying this. Hopefully they don't. Seems they don't. Alright, Vizier. Copy. Exert you. Yeah, no Magma Spray. Awesome. Then we will get Champion of Wits. Yes, we do. That's a lot of jank. Let's discard a pair of lands. And attack for 8. Next turn we can get our second gift out. So even if they have a braid here, we're still in fine shape. Yep, that's a dead Champion of Wits. Alright, they are getting aggressive. So, Rivulet. I think we're better off just going for the second God Pharaoh's Gift than digging for some more Combat Celebrants or Viziers. Oh, that's right. I'm silly. I don't have enough to trigger it in the graveyard now, so I guess we will sacrifice the desert. Forgot we removed some stuff from the graveyard with our other God Pharaoh's Gift. Yep. We are lightning struck, which is similar to thunderstruck. We got a Vizier, though. Awesome. Exert. And sure, Champion. We're not going to draw. Well, they don't give us the opportunity. Yeah, we will definitely keep this hand. This hand is quite good. Only thing it's missing is a gate to the afterlife. We will go turn 1 Firebrand, probably play out Highland Lake on turn 2 if we don't draw a 2-drop. If we do, we may go Sulphur Falls, but we definitely want to go turn 3 Champion if possible. Go ahead and get in for that 1 huge damage there. Alright, opponent showing red as well. Let's combat. And I think we will go ahead and play out Wily Goblin. We will still be able to champion next turn with the treasure. Oh, red-white, eh? Treasure map, sure. Another goblin, huh? Well, for now, let's go champ. Yes, please. And we'll discard Celebrant plus Goblin. Play out our Highland Lake. And get in there for some more damage. Alrighty then. Well, let's do combat first here. I'm only going to swing with the Goblin and the Champ. That way if they have Seal Away, then I can kill with the Firebrand whatever they try to seal away. Lightning Strike, we will let that happen. It does an exile. Damage. Alright, well, no chance of getting countered, so let's start with a strategical planning. And I suppose we'll take a Sulphur Falls. That was a really bad strategic planning, but we got a Goblin coming, so I guess it's fine-ish. If we don't get something, though, to start comboing, we're going to be in trouble, I think. Pretty sure the opponent is on a controlling type deck. At least that's what it seems like. We don't want to let them go long enough to actually gain the upper hand here. Alright, there's Settle the Wreckage mana. Varric's Blade Wing, okay. No worrying about Settle the Wreckage, which we're going to Champion of Wits. Yes, please. Alright, still no gate. I think we'll discard the Mountain and the Prospector. Sulphur Falls. Don't have the mana to Vizier this turn. I do think we're going to attack. Yeah. We'll attack with our Wily Gobbos. Want Firebrand out for the potential loot trigger off of a gate if we can manage to draw one. They also could just maybe not block here, because we are representing a Magma Spray having the Fanatical Firebrand back. Nope. They're going to take the chance. That is fine. So we got 9 cards in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of which are creatures. So Gate to the Afterlife is definitely live if we can manage to draw it. So the question is next turn if we want to Vizier copying Bladewing or copying Champion of Wits. Well, we may not get to make that choice, depending on what they target. Yeah, we're going to kill that. I want it in my graveyard. Alright, chose not to attack, huh? That is interesting. So let's Vizier. And we'll copy the Angel. And exile Varric's. And then we'll pass the turn. Just kind of staring at each other across the board, doing nothing here. We can start to embalm Champion of Wits next turn, though. We have exactly 7 mana, counting the treasure. Glorybringer, okay. Well, that's a dead Vizier. Yep. Get your blade wing back. And we can't really block, so... Strategic planning. So do we go Champion of Wits or Strategic Planning? Strategic Planning doesn't dig quite as deeply as Champion, so I guess we do Champ. Yes, please. Still no gate, huh? That is a problem. Guess we'll discard Siege Gang and a Mountain. And end the turn. We are very close to dead here, folks. So to be able to combo off next turn, we need to hit a gate and a land off this champion and hope they don't have a way to remove the God Pharaoh's gift when we go for it. Yep. Going real low. Please tap your mana. That would be awesome. Wouldn't guarantee us a win, but at least it would give us a chance. Because if we don't combo this next turn, we are most definitely dead. Well, there is the land. Actually, maybe we go Strategic Planning since it digs deeper than this champion. Of course, if they have a cast out, then, you know, it's all for naught, but we don't know, so we've got to try. All right. Sure. We are dead, folks. We now do not have the mana to play and activate a gate to the afterlife, but we're just digging to see what's there. And we didn't get it anyway. Alright, good game, opponent. Well played. Alright, last game was a prime example of why the standard versions of this deck play Treasure Mage. Alright, this is a little bit slow, but with Strategic Planning, I think we're going to keep it. Hopefully we're not up against Mono Red, because if we are, we're probably just dead, but Mono Red doesn't typically play Evolving Wilds, so there's hope. Swamp, eh? There's a gate. That was the first thing we were going to be digging for. Now we've got it. So now what we need is to put creatures into our graveyard. Blue-black. Okay. Well, we will try to strategically plan. And we will take... I guess we'll take a Prospector to try to combo with our gate. Since we definitely have enough lands in hand. Champion of Wits, okay. So we're going to resolve our gate this next turn. Blue-black typically doesn't have a way to deal with artifacts. I mean, they could always be running Blink and Bounce It, but I would like to get this down under the counter magic. So we will do that. Alright, taking some damage, another champion. We could potentially combo off next turn. Just depending on how our sacrifices go here. Yep, opponent completely tapped out. That's going to help us if we can manage to pull this off. Yeah, we're almost certainly going to be able to at least get the gift into play. So let's start with a Prospector. Firebrand. Prospector. Yes, we'll sack the Firebrand. We do want to loot. Discard Vizier. Now all we need is a Combat Celebrant. Yes. Sack yourself. Discard Vizier. Let's play out our other Prospector. Sack you. Digging for a Celebrant. It's not what that is. We'll discard Champion of Wits, though. Sack yourself. Yep, take action. Alright, Champion's fine. We'll play our Rivulet. We'll activate our Gate. Go into our library and get our God Pharaoh's gift. Go to combat, and we will go for Champion of Wits. Try to dig for celebrants for next turn. Yes, please. There's a celebrant, so we'll discard you and you. Sometimes have trouble getting the correct cards to be selected. We will definitely attack. Hopefully Scavenger Grounds is not in our future. Alright, that's not a Scavenger Grounds. That is awesome. So we could Rivulet ourselves. We could Champion of Wits before combat. I think we're going to Champion of Wits. Alright, they let that happen. Yes, please. We will discard both of these. Play... Oop, nope. Play a mountain, strategically plan. And we'll take another gate. Seems awesome to me. They could have removal for our celebrant, but I think that's fine. Come on, Slider. Work for me. Even without the multiple triggers, I think we're in a really good position to win this game. They did have the Vraska's Contempt. Yeah, I'm going to trade with that. That's fine with me. They won't have enough mana next turn to reanimate it. Eternalize. Correct term, I guess. The Eldest Reborn? Sure. So they can get something out of our graveyard here shortly, but I don't think it's going to be quick enough with 2 God Pharaoh's gifts out. We will go for Champ. And if we hit a Celebrant off of this Champ, we can reanimate it, but they don't wait to see. Alright, this is an absolutely great hand. We will snap keep this. Alright, Mono Red. This can be a rough matchup just depending on how things go. But again, against these aggro decks, we're generally just trying to survive until we can combo. Alright, they have gotten a very good start, that is for sure. At least we're able to play out a blocker this turn. That is, if they don't play something that stops us from blocking. Soulscar Mage, sure. Alright, we will definitely block that. Another Goblin, huh? Alright. Well, I think we go Champion of Wits this turn. Got 1, 2, 3. Potentially 4. Yeah. Go ahead and ditch both of those. Don't think we're going to be able to gate next turn unless something really good happens, like us drawing a Skirk Prospector and getting lucky. Yeah, Magma Spray kind of neuters that. Yep, gonna take a bunch of damage here. Going to 11. We could just be dead. So we are definitely going to strategic planning. And we will take the Highland Lake, even though we're not going to play it. We want the 2 creatures in our graveyard. And we'll strategic planning again. And I suppose we'll take a Prospector. And pass the turn and hope we're not dead. And also hope the opponent is not holding an Abrade for our God Pharaoh's gift when we get it next turn, if we live. It's a lot of ifs, you know? Just kind of buckle up the seatbelt and hold on for the ride. Alright, good news is we're not dead. Bad news is they've probably gotten a braid. So let's play a rivulet. Let's play Firebrand first. And Prospector next. And how many creatures do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, Gate to the Afterlife. And we will activate this, sacking this. Yes, please. Put you in the graveyard. Hope they don't have an abrade. We're not sacking this one because we're wanting to keep a blocker. There's your one. So this all hinges on whether opponent has a braid. And they don't. They don't have a braid. Or they failed to use it. Combat Celebrant. Exert for me, friend. Use all of your effort. Your mighty, mighty effort. Don't kill my Combat Celebrant. You had a braid. Why did you not abrade my God Pharaoh's gift? Well, I'm not going to argue. Thank you for not abrading my God Pharaoh's gift. Vizier. Exert you. Siege Gang. And attack with you. And we'll just pass it over. Opponent made a big mistake there not killing our God Pharaoh's gift. I don't know why they didn't. Maybe they just didn't understand what we were going to be able to do. Which we may still just be dead. I think we got enough blockers to survive, though. Thanks to Siege Gang Commander. They didn't exert. Okay, we'll go to blocks. Block like that. Go to 4. And we're not dead. I think we're going to rivulet ourselves. And again. And I don't know if we got another celebrant, but we'll look. We appear not to have. So I guess we'll grab a Wily Goblin. And we're one short of killing the opponent. And I think we're just dead. Yep. Despite comboing off, and our opponent not killing our God Pharaoh's gift, we are just dead. Good game. Can't help but think that I misplayed that there somewhere. Almost certainly. Yep, you got it. Maybe shouldn't have sacked the second rivulet, then we would have had enough mana to sack a goblin off a Siege Gang. Yeah, that's definitely a mistake. Alright, well, that was my bad. We should have won that game. Just got too excited, moving too fast. 5-3? Sure, we'll take it. Could have had at least 6 wins there, except we messed up. Well, not we. I messed up. I'm the one doing it. We'll take the prizes and go our merry way. Alright friends, here again is the deck list. Also in the description as always will be a link to a list that you can view in a more easily parsed form. Also, you can export it from there. It's on MTG Goldfish and import it into Arena for yourself. This is a deck that has a lot of complex lines, and it's very easy to misplay as you saw me do in the last game there. Also, sometimes it just doesn't get what it needs to win and dies. So, if you can handle all of that, it's a lot of fun because it does a lot of really silly stuff. So thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments and by leaving a like below. It really does help tremendously. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.